The Chat GPT prompt for manifestation has been going viral all over social media. You've probably seen it before. Millions of people are putting their goals, their dreams into Chat GPT with a specific prompt, and it's giving them back literally a story of how their life is going to unfold, the things that they're going to achieve. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, how to get Chat GPT to work for you and help you essentially change your life by a step-by-step process. And not only am I going to teach you how to get the story, I'm going to teach you how to get yourself the daily schedule so you can figure out what tasks that you have to do on a day-to-day basis to get to your goal. Another thing too is this made me realize my goals are not big enough. So I definitely recommend everyone to try it, and let's start the video. So the first thing you're going to do is come up with your goals, right? Think of not even your goals, think of your wildest dreams. Like, what are the wildest things that you want to achieve, that you want to do with your life, places that you want to go, like by the time you feel like you've changed your life type thing. Like, when I change my life, I want to do this and I want to do that. Think of those things and literally make a list of those things. It doesn't have to be in an order. It doesn't even have to make sense, if you want me to be completely honest, but they're things for you. And so I put into Chat GPT, I'm going to give you a list of all my wildest dreams. And I want you to write a story in first person. Here are some of my wildest dreams. And I'm not going to say them out loud because they were a bit personal to me, but I will read you off some of the things that they did say when I decided to do this. Disclaimer, another thing is to put it in first person because they're going to tell it to you like a story. I want you, when you read this, you're saying, I'm doing this, I'm going here, not saying you did this, you went here, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I want you to speak life into these things so it feels like it's really for you and it's not you just reading a random story out of a book. So one of the things they said in a story is, then came the recognition I always had dreamed of. I made Forbes 30 under 30 list for content creation. It was a surreal moment, a dream come true, but it also felt like the beginning of something bigger. That title opened doors I never imagined. Collaborations with industry leaders, invitations to speak at major conferences, and opportunities to share my message on an even larger scale. So that's just one of the paragraphs, and I'll read you one more. And then there was my podcast, blank. I'm not telling y'all the name of it because it's coming out soon, with over blank listeners every month. This little secret I'm manifesting for myself. It became a platform for deep, meaningful conversations. I welcome thought leaders, entrepreneurs, spiritual guides, and activists to share their wisdom. Together, we turn complex ideas into actionable steps, making the journey to self-growth accessible to everyone. My podcast became more than a show. It became a movement, inspiring people to simplify their lives while embracing their unique complexities. But I want y'all to understand, that podcast, the entire paragraph, I only gave them that name of my podcast, and they came up with all that stuff, like the whole thing of meaningful conversations and complex ideas becoming actionable, because of they paid attention to a lot of the other things I showed them. So that's what I want you to understand. Like, you don't have to come up with exact stuff. Just come up with stuff that you want to achieve. And I don't know how ChatGPT does it, ChatGPT, but they put it in a way where it, like, that's really what I want to do. Like, I didn't even think about my podcast being like that, but that's really what I do want to do with my podcast. And so that was the first step, which is just telling them your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations. So I'm going to tell you guys the next prompt that I want you guys to put into there. So after they've given you exactly what to say, when I tell y'all, it's so moving because it feels like, dang, like I said, this is what I want to achieve, this is what I want to do, and this is what it looks like. Then I want you to ask ChatGPT, what steps can I take daily to achieve this? Because it is one thing of it being a story, right? That's kind of like how the first part's supposed to be. It's just supposed to be a story. But like, how do I turn this story into my life? And ChatGPT will literally break down every single section of every single thing that you do, from daily action steps to words of affirmation to just specific times. Like, for me, I'm obviously in the content creation space, so they would be like, devote this much and this much time a day to content creation, devote this much and this much time to networking. And like, we're even though I've been creating content for like 4 years, right, they even were telling me stuff that it was like, a dub, but it was like, I didn't even think about it like that. Like, I didn't even think about this is something that I should do. And then they tell you why you should do it and the benefits of doing it. And I think that's a great thing as well, because we have goals, dreams, and aspirations, and we all hear motivational stuff, but sometimes it just seems like it's randomized. You get what I'm saying? It just seems like, oh, this is supposed to motivate everyone. I don't know how this can specifically help me. It tells you how it can specifically help you when it comes to getting to your goals. And then it also gives you a schedule on like a daily task that you can do. Now, the problem with this schedule is it gives a schedule as if you don't have anything else to do, right? Because it's Chat GPT. So I'm going to give you a different prompt so you can make the schedule specific for you, because the schedule gives you have no job, you have no responsibilities, you have no school, and we all have those things. So I'm going to teach you how to adjust it so you can fit those things inside of your schedule with all the daily tasks you still have to do. So the prompt to do is, can you make a daily schedule for me to achieve these things, but block off the times of, and then what are the times that you have work? What are the times that you have school? Because I have work / school / whatever responsibilities. And so then it's going to recreate a schedule for you, but then it's not going to make it so randomized. It's not going to make it so random times in the day. It's going to make it so, okay, before you go to work, you can do this. After you leave class, you can do that. And I feel like that's how it makes it actually achievable, because you actually are saying, okay, you can do this. Like, you don't tell yourself, oh, I got work, I got school, I got these responsibilities. No, you can do it. And I'm literally giving you a step-by-step process on doing it. So what's your excuse? Now, the next thing that I did is I had it write a letter to me. So I'd use this prompt. I said, can you write a letter from my future self in detail who is already living my dream life? Because I kind of wanted it to be like me reading off something from future me. I feel like it gave me just the mindset of like, keep going. It gave me just the mindset of like, this is the future you speaking to you. It's kind of like, imagine if right now you could speak to your 16-year-old self. Imagine right now if you could speak to your 15-year-old self. Like, what would you tell that individual? What would you tell you? There's so many things that I would tell me that I feel like would have made me look at things differently, possibly do things differently. And so now that I've, got the wisdom and experienced things, it's kind of like, this is the advice that I want to give you. I think that that's a reason why I decided to do that. And that honestly made me tear up a little bit more than the first prompt. Like the first prompt, it was like a little bit emotional, but I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really tear up. But the second one was really what made me tear up, because it felt like this is you speaking to you. Like, this is the higher version of you. This is future you. If you keep doing what you gotta do, if you keep going in the direction that you gotta go in, this is future you. So it's like, I don't know, it was just something about it that was just like, dang, this really can be my future. This really is my future. And this is future me speaking to me. And if I want to achieve this future, if I want to get here, I got to go back to the schedule. I got to go back to the daily steps so that I actually can achieve these goals. Now, I'm going to read off a little bit of what future me said just to give you guys an understanding of that. So one of the things I said was, but you know what might be the most fulfilling part of it all? You've been able to give back to the people who gave you everything, your parents. They're retired now, living a life of peace and comfort, and it's all because of you. The look on their faces when you told them they could finally rest, words can't describe how that felt. It was one of the proudest achievements, and you would cherish that moment forever. So obviously inside of there, it talked about me speaking to myself about my podcast, about my business, about content creation. But like, hearing that part really made me emotional, because it's like, my mom worked so hard, and my mom as a single mom has worked hard my entire life. And like, that's one of my goals. Like, one of my goals is really to be like, Mom, you, like, don't get me wrong, my mom's a worker. She's still gonna find some way to do something, but like, Mom, you can just do what you want to do. Like, you can live. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to stress about anything. And just hearing myself say that, because I do know, like, I do want to achieve things. I do have goals, dreams, and aspirations, but I promise y'all, being able to tell my mom that you don't have to work no more, you don't have to worry about this, you don't have to worry about that, will be one of my proudest moments. And so hearing myself, my future self, say that to myself, I think it just put things into a surreal moment. And it's like, this is why you got to keep going. This is why you got to do this, because I want to feel like this. I want to have that moment, because I know that it's possible. And I know that I'm going to feel this way, if not 10 times better. Now, the final one I want to talk to you guys about is, I completely do understand, right? We do have these moments. As soon as you read it, like I said, sometimes you can get emotional, but we do have moments of feeling like, what if I don't achieve this? I need motivation. I'm down. So the final prompt I recommend to read is, I have fears that this might not be possible for me. Can you please write motivation for my future self that will help motivate my current self not to quit? And I think we have to be honest with ourselves. One thing about manifestation and things like that, don't get me wrong, you do truly have to believe it. I'm not going to not say that. But even when you are manifesting, even when you are truly believing you can do these things, we have moments in our life where we feel down. We have moments where life just be lifing. And we're just like, dang, this happened, and dang, that happened. And we forget about our dreams. We forget about our daily tasks. We forget about the future that's ahead. And so that's another reason why I wrote that, because I'm like, I want something from my future self. And it literally was just it was just telling me, not essentially words of affirmation. I guess it kind of was, but it was really just telling me, this is why you need to do this. Like, you need to do this because we're going to do this. We need to do this because didn't you say you want to retire, mom? We need to do this because didn't you say so? That was one thing that definitely helped me. Everybody might not need that. That's okay. But that's definitely something that helped me. And I would recommend everyone to do that because we all feel down. Now, to make sure this is not just a one-off, to make sure this is just not a one-time thing that you do and you forget about, there's two things that I recommend for you to do. One, I recommend for you to put it into a voice memo. You could put all of them into a voice memo, as far as the letter, as far as the story, as far as the motivation, whichever ones you want to do. And I recommend to listen to these before you go to sleep and as soon as you wake up. And even sometimes throughout your day, like when you just need a little bit more motivation or you're just going through it. Because one thing about it is we need to put this inside of your subconscious. We need to make your mind feel as though this is already us. And that's why I said in the beginning, put it into a first person. Don't read it like you, or you need to do this or you need to do that. Like when you're reading that story, it needs to be I achieved this. I wake up in the morning and I feel like this. I go to these places. I'm known for this. And so that's one thing that's definitely been helping me. And think about it similar to before you go to sleep, if you're on your phone on social media. I don't know if it happens to y'all. It probably does. You ever see somebody that you saw on social media, like you might be scrolling on Instagram or TikTok, and they just end up in your dream? Well, think about it like that. You want these things to end up in your dream. You want these things to end up in your subconscious on a consistent basis so that they start feeling real. So that's definitely something I recommend to do. Just get the voice memo app. It should already be on your phone. Read it into there and then listen to it. Another thing I recommend to do, now this one is a bit much, but some people did print it out. I definitely recommend printing it out if you want to like put it on like a canvas or something like that, like glue it to something and hang it up. That's well. But it's been proven for hundreds of years that writing down things actually help you achieve them better, because it's a long story, but it's a long process to it, because you have to think it, you have to say it, you have to write it, right? It's using all of these motor skills to do this thing. And I also recommend, I know it's going to be kind of long, but writing this thing down, like actually writing it down as if you're writing a journal entry. Like, this is me saying that I'm doing these things. This is me actually achieving these things. And like I said, it sometimes, because the story is kind of long, it is a bit much, but I definitely recommend if you have the time to do it, or just using different days. It might take you 1 week to do it. This day I'm writing one paragraph. This day I'm writing another paragraph. This day another paragraph. But whatever you have to do it. Now, of course, all of the journal prompts I will link below in the description, but I'm telling y'all, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. This is my first one, but I honestly want to do this again because it's really taught me I don't have dreams wild enough. Like, don't get me wrong, some of the things did make me tear up, and it did make me like just proud of myself because I know the goals I can achieve and dream. But when they said write down your wildest goals or your wildest dreams, I was just like, okay, what do I want? Okay, what do I want? I'm always saying, I have a whole self-growth channel. I'm always saying how I want to grow and achieve things, but it's like when somebody tell you, you can achieve this, just tell me what you want. It's like, dang. What do I want? What do I want? I thought so I definitely recommend to do that. But thank y'all so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me how you guys like this video. I liked it. I decided to do it. I saw it went viral, so I'm like, let me put it on YouTube so everybody can hear about it. But thank y'all so much. And also don't forget to go into the show notes and subscribe for my newsletter. I said in here I'm coming out with a podcast, so stay on the lookout for that. My newsletter, I'll give you updates on the podcast. I'll give you updates on just daily motivation and things of that sort. And if you do forget, which we always do, make sure you hit the bell to turn on post notifications so that you're always notified when I post a new video. Thank y'all and have a great one.